Welcome to The Root Causes, where we challenge the misconception of youth crime through education and awareness. The mayor wants to tackle youth crime, but do we really understand why it happens?
We've created a safe space for our young people and professionals to share their perspective on the root causes of crime.
Each interview unique. 4 young people, 4 professionals sharing different perspectives around youth crime. My name's Kevin and I'm the co-founder of Khadys Dream.
My name's Jade and I am the co-founder of Khadys Dream, a crime prevention organisation who fights for every young person in the UK to break free from the cycle of crime. Let's find out the root causes.
Dammy, nice to meet you.
What does the general public fail to understand about youth crime?
They don't understand what's really going on. Unless it's in your day-to-day.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that there's so many influences in information that you don't want to believe, so you'll only take from it what's affecting your day-to-day. So I've got kids and I've got teenagers, older teenagers. So I do see what's going on a little bit in youth culture, but only from my subjective point of view. So already I'm a bit limited as well, aren't I?
Yeah.
But I do take an interest in it because I have teenagers.
When it comes to young people, I guess we only really kind of care when it relates to us or when we're living in it. So I feel like maybe when I was a bit younger, I didn't really care what adult life was like because I'm not an adult, or I don't. If I see something to do with adult news, it won't really be something that I feel a connection to or something that I'll, take a deep dive and look into it.
It's perception, isn't it?
Exactly.
There's like loads of phrases for it, but it's what's in your space. Like you buy a yellow car, you're going to see loads of yellow cars, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think it's like what's bothering you at the time, or what's in your world, or what do you need to think about, and then you'll become more aware of it in your surroundings.
Yeah.
But if you're not with young people or have young people in your life or anything else, then you probably have no need to, other than what you see in the news, I suppose.
The average cost to keep someone in prison is 51k per year. Do you think if we invested that sum into the individual at risk of offending, it would reduce crime?
But we all have alarm bells ringing when you see it on the news or when the damage has already been done and it's irreversible. But I think it would be really good to see that money kind of put in at the beginning of the cycle so that you can kind of prevent it, rather than it being more of a what are we going to do as a consequence after the fact. So I think maybe some more funding in mental health awareness, financial education as well. Yeah,
I think you're right. I think it's the beginning of the cycle. I like that analogy because I think 51 grand, you could take 10 people at one point, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Rather than just one.
Exactly.
And put something in and bring it together and then grow something. It's like money can be invested and grown in outreach or direct effect. So I like the idea of it being at the beginning. I think it definitely should be invested. Yeah, it seems a lot. It's just, that's a lot of money for one person.
How much influence does social media have on you and your friends?
So I have recently come off social media. I'm just on it for a community thing, but I've come off it because it does have an influence. But again, I'm referring to my kids. I've seen how it affects their state. Yeah. So I would say it has a huge influence. And I would say for all the good social media can do, it's largely negative. Because it's quite addictive. And if you're not in the right frame of mind, it can take you places you just didn't need to be. For example, my daughter was saying the other day, my friends have done this and I'm not there. And I was like, gosh, when I was your age, I'd phone Shelley up and Mum would answer the phone. I'm like, I didn't have FOMO. I didn't have any of those awful negative feelings at such a young age. So social media as a parent has a huge influence, but I'm trying not to let it affect me because I can see what it's doing to my kids. So I've come off it. I think, I don't know.
Do you think it's more of an issue with social media, or how the people that use social media use it. So more of the usage or the creation? What do you think there?
Just the way it intertwines in your being and then becomes part of you without you realising, and how much it can affect your state of mind. I think it's a massive issue, personally.
Yeah, it does seem a bit invasive sometimes. I think TikTok has been really big.
Is it? Yeah.
But I feel like this, like people in like year 7 now, people in that are just coming into high school now, I feel like social media has been more ingrained from the beginning. Whereas when I started, it was probably like, oh, you know, everyone's got Instagram, maybe Snapchat, but not much of the outside influence. It was just what you and your friends wanted to discuss or what you guys are talking about. But now it's more news, more information's coming in from outside, and which is probably where the problem has begun.
And it's not real, is it?
Exactly.
It's all staged. That's the thing that gets me.
It's somebody else's perception that's important.
Yeah. And 40 photos to get one decent one. Probably 400 photos to get one decent one.
Exactly.
So it's that. It's not real.
What do you think are the causes of youth crime?
I think financial trauma, I'm really big on the financial trauma bit. Lack of motivation or inspiration, emotional well-being, I think that's not something we talk about enough. Environment as well. The reason I said financial trauma is because a lot of the reason that I think people are pushed down that road is, and I think this is more around, you know, fraud. You want to find like the next get rich quick scheme, or like you're in a tight spot and you need some money, or in like from the perspective of a young person, especially if you've got friends that are maybe more well off than you, or you know they're going out this Saturday and you know you don't have enough pocket money and things like that. The feeling of being left out or being at home can feel really, really like immense, especially when you're young and you don't know any better. So I'd say that, well, that's why I said financial trauma. That's kind of what pushes people down that path, because they think, okay, well, I'll just do this one thing once because, you know, I want to go out with my mates on Friday. And then once turns into twice, and then it's just a spiral that you can't really stop, especially when there's a lot of negative influences around you. It's kind of hard to get out as well.
And as a root cause, get rich quick is because it feels sometimes like there's no other way.
No other option.
Nowhere to turn. And, you know, that's what you see, everybody else has got money.
Exactly.
With social media. So maybe it goes back to like social media. I don't know, it's difficult,
It's
isn't
an
it?
interesting one.
Do you think a lack of opportunity drives young people to crime?
Contrary to belief, I actually feel like there's a lot of opportunities out there. I think it's more a lack of education on the opportunities out there. I do apprenticeship, but I know a lot of my friends that go to university, they probably didn't know that it was available for them to do apprenticeship in their different fields or sectors of what they're interested in, because maybe they were more focused on studying, or maybe they had other things going on. But I know if they'd had that information, I doubt more than half of them probably would have gone the apprenticeship route, for example.
Do you think there are enough opportunities with like apprenticeships and uni for people? Or do you think that focus is still a bit sort of narrowed a bit? Too narrow, can't speak, making up words.
I think it's an interesting one. I wouldn't say like there's an abundance of opportunities out there, but I feel like you never know what is out there until you ask. Because I know some friends as well that have gone like a non-conventional route, like a fashion internship, for example. But those aren't readily accessible. The only reason they were able to access them is because they've asked, or they've emailed, they've sent hundreds of cold emails, for example. So I think it's definitely a scenario of if you don't ask, you won't get. In terms of what's already been advertised out there, I think you just need to do a deep search.
So lack of signposting to the
lack of
opportunities.
signposting. I think schools push down the agenda of you've got to do well, GCSEs, A-levels, you've got to go to university.
And there are other options.
Exactly.
But sometimes they're not in front of you, and it's really hard to find them when you're 16.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, not always knowing where to look on how. Yeah.
What is one opportunity for young people that is missing in society?
the education system having the ability to see individuals and tailor how education is provided to support them. I think it's just not education, but getting to people young enough so that they feel seen and valued is not there.
Yeah, I think I think my thoughts on your response is, well, it kind of starts with the teachers and like the people that we're bringing in to educate kids. And I think when you hear so much about, there's not enough funding in the education system, and then, I remember being in school and you go to school and your teacher's not really with it and you don't really want to be there because you don't understand the importance at the time. Maybe your teacher's off sick for 2 weeks. You've got a supply teacher that really doesn't want to be there either because they're not being paid enough. I think that would, the opportunity to kind of invest more in the people that are looking after your kids needs to really be something that's highlighted and something that we talk more about, especially since it places such a higher ramifications on future life as well, I think.
Yeah, not just in the educational, but just being seen and being heard and being known to be, whatever, you're not good at maths, but you're good at this, or you can do this.
Exactly.
That kind of thing, yeah.
I think I wasn't expecting our responses or our point of views to be so similar, but kind of through like a different lens. It's like we're both looking at the same picture, but from different sides.
I could see immediately very different points of view that were good to discuss and articulate because they came from the same place, but we said it in different ways sometimes. Or it made me think about how I was saying what I was saying to try and resonate and to try and, not come across as like an old dragon. But you know what I mean? So it was really good. It really kind of made me listen to the answers and sort of think around things.